Alright, this is the review for the season 2 of Jessica Jones. All the episodes, because I know I've seen a few people only review like a few episodes for some reason, but it's really just, I mean, it's going to have spoilers, but it's more of my complaints and things I like, and just a summary of how the story plays out. And I would say before watching this season, I guess if you liked season 1 or season 2, I mean not 2, if you liked or didn't like season 1, I feel like ultimately it doesn't really affect this. It brings up, Kilgrave and things from season 1, but overall, I feel like you could just jump into this honestly. And I mean, it gives you a recap before you start it, so that helps. But when it's so season 2, when it starts, it's just Jessica, how she always is, and it kind of annoyed me. I mean, I haven't read any of her comic books, but I guess maybe that's how at least in the show, she's just constantly negative and whiny, just not one thing is, not that everything has to be happy, but it's just like, we get it, like, you're a bitch, whatever, okay, but, it's more of that, for at least the first bit. And what I liked, because the first season, about halfway through, it was really hard for me to keep watching. The only reason I really stayed to watch was Kilgrave. I thought he was a good villain. And before I talk about the villain in this, so it kind of starts out, she's still doing the PI stuff. And a lot of this season is, I guess, other people using other people, or just like how you treat your friends. That's kind of the vibe I got. But she works with Malcolm under her, and that's the whole thing that happens in the show, is he's tired of her shit. He wants to be equal with her. So she finally promotes him, but before that, every episode is she's saying that he's fired and he leaves, or whatever. And it's just kind of annoying, because it's just constantly, oh, you're fired, okay, I'll be back tomorrow. It's like, ha ha ha. And then I feel like the story doesn't even, it's like each episode almost just felt like filler, or just going really nowhere until, or I guess not filler, but each episode felt like it was being prolonged way too, like, so many like side stories being put in that it was like, focus on this, focus on this, focus on this. Oh yeah, here's the main story. So the main story is, Jessica feeling bad about her family dying, but not her, and she's mad that she felt like she should have died with her family, but she was kept alive. And so she's having these dreams about when she got her powers, and it was an experiment. And that was another thing about this season. It's so, not that it's bad, but it is so it's just a common, like, oh, bad government agency, ooh, shadow government, conducting experiments on people. And I was like, I've seen this a million times, but, I'll still watch it. And I like the twist. I guess it's not a twist, but how the guy who saved her life is almost not necessarily a bad guy when you look at what he's done, and how one of his colleagues, or I guess his patient's dad, the child was born with, messed up face, and he was able to genetically fix his face, and he saved Jessica and Jessica's mom, who was almost burnt to death, and then he completely fixed her, except for her mental rage. But yeah, there's that. And then from the beginning, something that I automatically was like, is when I watched the trailers for this season, it felt like they were pushing like the whole woman power thing. Not that I have a problem with that, but it was very like, this is a woman, women kicking ass, kicking men's asses. And I was like, okay, we know, don't worry. But, and then Hogarth, she has some lines about female empowerment and stuff like that. And, they showed her a lot more than I thought they would. And she has this whole story, which I kind of found interesting, but overall, it's like, I feel like they're just kind of scraping for another story. But, yeah, going back to the beginning, one of the side plots is, this, like, master PI who's super rich, has his own business, crazy wealthy, all this, and he wants to, absorb Alias Investigations, which is Jessica Jones, her business, and she says no, and he just goes they made him so over the top, typical like douchebag guy, where he's buff and he's like, I never take no for an answer, and I'm the best, this and that, and, she goes in there and whoops his ass, and he gets all butthurt, and then it just like total 180, he like tries to murder her and shoot her. Well, before that, he tries to steal all her stuff to figure out what she's doing. And, the villain, which is Jessica's mom, stops the guy that's hired by the Asian guy, Price, the other PI, and kills him. So then Price thinks it's Jessica, and then tries to kill Jessica and her mom. And it's just like all this nonsense, and they keep, he keeps coming back, and he's like, oh, I'm not going to take no for an answer, and it's just like, it's a little extreme. And honestly, the side plot that I wish they would have focused more on was Whizzer. He was in it, I think, just in the first episode. He, you find out that, no one believed him, not even Jessica, that he had powers, but when he's nervous and in fear, then his powers start, he's super fast, like Quicksilver and stuff. And he gets killed, and I just sat there like like, I wish they would have focused more on him and at least not killed him, or left it ambiguous, like, oh, there's no body or something, because it's kind of dumb that they just introduced him to kill him. And you also see someone following Trish, which is Simpson from the first season. He's alive, and it turns out he's actually not a bad guy. He's protecting Trish from Jessica's mom, but he, once they find all that out, 5 minutes later he's dead. He gets his neck twisted, and I was like, okay, that's another character I was like, I don't necessarily care for, but you hyped him up and then bam, just killed him. So whatever. And then that's about it for like the beginning. The beginning's just like little things happening, little side stories starting to happen. Like the whole Hogarth thing, I can sum it up real quick. She finds out she has ALS, and so she houses a nurse from IGH, which is the company that made super people. The nurse tells her that she knows a healer in prison that could help her. So they get the healer out. He heals her, and then it turns out that he was never a patient at IGH, and the nurse and the healer were in on it. And so Hogarth goes back to her house, everything's stolen. She's pissed, finds out where they live, gets an untraceable gun, gives it to the girl, and feeds her lies about her boyfriend, the healer. And then she goes in there, argues with the boyfriend, shoots him, and then Hogarth calls the police saying that she witnessed the shooting. So, I literally summed that up real fast, and that's really all it is. It's just stretched out over the whole season, which is kind of annoying. And then the side plot with Price, he gets beaten up, unconscious, and they leave him. So that's like, okay. And Malcolm, I liked Malcolm's character in this. In the first one, I just kind of thought like, old heroin addict, whatever. But I liked what they did with him. I like that he stood up for himself and actually felt like the most honest, caring person in the show. And, by the end, he was just so tired of Jessica's crap that he was like, I'm done. And he joined, who did he join? I think he joined Price, the other PI, the Asian guy. And I was kind of like, what? Why would he do that? But I think, it's just time for him to step up. And And I know I'm like shooting all over the place, but I'm just trying to like quickly, like, because all of these stories you can sum up so fast. But the side plot that I just, God, the worst character, worst story for me is Trish. I didn't like her in the first season. I don't like her in this season. I think she's annoying. I think she's a brat. And maybe that's the point. But, you know, it's already annoying having to listen to Jessica be constantly negative. And then you have to hear, like, oh, that's another thing. Everyone in the show will do something to piss off someone else. And then that person will do it back to the other person. And then it's just constant, you know, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Why aren't you answering your phone? This and that. It's like, okay, you know, you're all doing the same thing. But Trish, oh, man, the whole season is, you know, oh, I can save myself. Yeah, I don't need your help. This and that. And she, you know, she's like, I'm a hero. And she's jealous of Jessica and her powers. And it's just complete one, you know. And then there's stuff going on with her and her husband. And I did like how her fiance, they made it seem like he was a bad guy undercover, but it turns out he was just trying to find family contacts for the wedding and stuff. I thought that was cool. It got me. I was like, well, okay, I didn't see that coming. But yeah, they end up not getting married, you know, because she said she doesn't want to be with him. She wants to be him, and all she cares about is herself and her success. And then she finds the super soldier inhaler that Simpson used and is addicted to it, and, you know, fights crime, and then just goes off the rails, knocks Malcolm out, stuffs him in the trunk, holds a gun at Malcolm, and runs away from Jessica, and tries to get the surgery to become like Jessica, and it, you know, fails, but, you know, at the end it turns out it actually worked. But she's just like constantly whining. She's constantly just, you know, every time it showed her talk, I just wanted to skip it because it's just annoying. All she does is complain. It's like, God, okay, we get it. You want to be Jessica. You think you're a hero, this and that. It's like, okay. But overall, like, I mean, I guess the main part, the twist, is that the main villain is Jessica's mom. And I like the actor. She scared me. I felt uncomfortable. You know, I feel like people are the scariest things to kill you. And she did a good job of looking menacing. And, you know, there were some aspects that I liked and I didn't like. I liked she was menacing. I didn't like... it's hard for me to explain. You know, she's, you know, telling Jessica basically, like, if you don't come with me, I'm just going to go berserk and I'm going to keep killing people. So then, you know, Jessica's with her, you know, doesn't want to be with her, really, until the end. But, you know, everyone's telling her, like, hey, don't go with your mom, this and that. She's like, well, I have to go with my mom, otherwise my mom's going to kill people. And it's like, you know, that's it. You know, the mother just, that's another thing, is the whole time Jessica's like, you're not my mom, you're a monster, this and that, constantly. And then finally when she's forced to be dragged in the RV with her mom, she's like, okay, you're not so bad. And I was like, okay, that was a pretty quick emotional change. And, you know, they're driving, running for the cops, blah, 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 and it's just kind of like them talking, you know, okay. And then they go to the place where they used to go as a family, and then, of course, they're on a Ferris wheel all the way up in the air. Somehow, with a handgun, Trish is able to shoot her mom in the head. Like, when you see the angle, she's holding it like this, and the mom's way over there, and she somehow shot her in the head. You know, I don't think she's an expert marksman or anything. And so then, once again, Jessica and Trish aren't friends because she shot her mom, and, you know, Trish shows up and says, I'm sorry, but, you know, she's like, could have been anyone but you. You know, you just had to kill my mother. And she was like, I'll remember you as the, you know, as the person who killed my mom. And I was like, it's like they're just making up drama, you know? But, you know, maybe I'm nitpicking. But overall, this season, I liked the, you know, how she narrates towards the end. I like the mystery investigation narration type. You know, it felt like almost like a weird noir feel. I like that. I liked the episode with Kilgrave, even though he wasn't in there for that much. I liked it. I kind of thought it was weird that she killed some. I mean, yeah, he was an asshole. Not Kilgrave, the guy she kills in this season, but it's like she just blatantly murdered this guy and faked his suicide death. And it's like, she's not a hero. Like, I mean, I know they're not trying to say she's a hero. And that's what goes on in the show. But like I said, I haven't read her comic books, but I don't know if she's this like dark and murdering people and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I'd say it's enjoyable. You know, once the plot gets kicking, it's like okay, and then when it sidetracks, it's kind of like, can we just go back to the story? But yeah, overall, I like it. I don't like it. I think it'd go from my least favorite to my best. It would say Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, like both seasons of Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and then Defenders, and then Daredevil season 2, and then Daredevil season 1. I feel like Daredevil season 1, like Kingpin was perfect, just everything, emotion, the friendships, I was like spot on. So yes, I think you should watch season 2 of Jessica Jones, and I think, you know, if you can keep your mind to it, you'll enjoy it. So thanks for watching.